Welcome to this short video. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about dementia. Dementia has become like an epidemic worldwide right now. Each year, more and more people are losing it, literally, bad memory and things like that. It's part of the aging process, but it isn't. It shouldn't happen. So we need to understand why this is happening. And the main reason is that it's a degeneration of the arteries in the brain. So how do you see that? So technically the arteries should be open, flexible, but because of irritation in the arteries, and one of the biggest irritations comes from glucose, from carbs, it irritates the inside of the arteries and it inflames, and the body tries to protect against this inflammation by building plaques. Mainly made from cholesterol and calcium, and these plaques are to cover up all these injuries in the arteries. When this happens in your brain, you can get stroke, or if it happens all over in the brain, you get a gradual decrease of the brain function, and this leads to dementia. If it's happening in your heart, you can have the coronary of the heart that becomes smaller and smaller, and this can lead to heart disease, dementia, other kinds of problems like that. So this is an ongoing problem, and the reason for that is that we are using now more and more carbs, and the carbs are not the same carbs that we used to have before when agriculture was totally different. So we're having more refined carbs, and we are ingesting too many carbs. So in other words, our pancreas is not prepared to be able to deal with all of that, and it's trying its best by producing more insulin. But at some point, the insulin is not effective anymore, and we get what's called insulin resistance. And because of that, more glucose circulates through the blood, irritates the blood, and sooner or later, you start getting the narrowing of the arteries in different parts of your body. And dementia is an awful thing to see when your parents or loved ones are losing it, as I call it, and they don't remember more who you are, what the last time you visited them, and those kind of things. It is heartbreaking. It happened to my father. It happened also to my mother. So I'm very, very aware of this problem. And I'm so happy now that we have a product that can change that. I'm not saying it's going to cure existing dementia, but one thing it can do for sure, it can prevent it from getting worse. And the other thing it can do, and that's what I'm mainly fascinated about, it can prevent dementia from happening. Not only in the brain, of course, but also for your heart and other parts, but also because it helps for the pancreas. You will also become better in processing the carbs that you ingest. Like they say in America, you can have your cake and eat it too. I don't promote you to ingest more carbs, but what I want to tell you is that at least you can balance that. But always be very, very cautious with carbs. Don't eat too much carbs. Go more, I would say, to the fiber side. The more fibers you use in your diet, the better everything works, the more the body will start detoxifying itself. So you won't have the fiber intake, and mainly that's fruits and vegetables, to be very high so that you can balance the toxins that come in. So I recommend to everyone who is concerned about aging and dementia to start using Curcuma Plus. Also, if it's beginning, you have a great chance of reversing the process. I have no experience yet with advanced stages of dementia, but one thing I know for sure, it cannot do no harm. It's always good to give that. But if someone has advanced dementia, you have a problem to get them to take it, so that might be another problem. So my recommendation for everyone who is worried about having dementia, or anyone who is starting to have less better memory, do not consider this to be a normal aging process. It has nothing to do with aging. It has to do with the process that we do to ourselves by the consumption of the carbs that we are taking in. My recommendation is also in the morning never to start with refined carbs, to always have a high fiber intake and nothing that is refined. And this way you will have a more balanced blood sugar level or all of the day. Stop with sugar, anything with sugar in it, stay away from that. And also remember that alcohol is also a form of refined sugar. So don't take too much alcohol. That's also not good. So by doing that and combining this with something like Curcuma Plus, you can do a lot of good for yourself, prevention, but also for your loved ones if they're already starting to have a diminished memory. And myself, I am not considering myself as beginning with dementia, even though my parents had it. My memory is still pretty good, but I'm noticing when I take curcuma, it's even better. Not a lot, but there's definitely a difference there. And the general energy is also better. I recover faster from training, so I recommend you absolutely to take Curcuma Plus if you're interested to prevent dementia. Thank you.